Well, good morning and happy National School Choice Week. I'm Shaka Mitchell with the American Federation for Children here in Nashville, Tennessee, and we are so glad to kick off this week, and not just to kick off this week, but to have Andrew Campanella, who leads the National School Choice Week organization, and have him on our show to talk a little bit about the week and what it means for parents. Andrew, good morning. Great to see you.
Good morning. Great to see you too. It's been a long, long time.
It's been a long time, but I'm so glad you continue to do this work and really, spread the school choice message to parents around the country.
Well, thanks for having me.
Well, I've got to think. Let's just start with the plainly obvious that this National School Choice Week looks so different than it has in years, and everybody can see at home that you and I we're sporting our yellow scarves. Which is, the color that's typically associated with this week. Talk maybe a little bit about what the week normally looks like and then what you're doing this week.
Absolutely. So it's such a mixed bag this year, but I think that all of our participants across the country have really made the most out of it. What we usually see during a school choice week is tens of thousands of schools and community and statewide organizations working together to plan events. Everything from school fairs to open houses, information sessions, student talent shows, you name it, people plan it. And it's usually an opportunity for families to go in person to look at schools if they're considering making a change for the next school year. And it's also a time for everybody involved in school choice, whether you are a parent who is so grateful to have been able to choose the right learning environment for your child, or a parent who wants more choices, to speak up, have your voice heard, and shine a positive spotlight on the need and, for many cases, in the reality of opportunity in education. This year, we're doing all of that positivity, but it's all online and through activities and projects. And we're working still with the same partners and with the same schools, but we don't want to put anybody in harm's way. So we're not doing any in-person events, and we've asked all of our friends to refrain from doing that too. So instead, you're seeing everything online. Plus, our team has spent this quarantine year really building out more resources than we've ever provided to help parents navigate the process of finding a public, charter, magnet, private, online, or home learning option for their kids.
Yeah, awesome. And I want to get into some of those resources here shortly, because I know that you put out a great book that's really helpful for that. But one of the things you mentioned in your list of who needs to hear this message is, parents looking for schools. And you mentioned public. I won't go through the whole list, but you mentioned public, private, public charter, online, et cetera. So oftentimes, I think when people hear school choice, and even I would say for a certain generation, the choice movement has felt exclusive. But that's not really what this week is about, right?
That's exactly right. And actually, you touch on something that really goes back to why National School Choice Week was started. One of the reasons that School Choice Week was started 11 years ago is to shine an equal spotlight on all types of schools out there, because we believe that school choice means parents making decisions on what environments are right for their kids. We don't believe that school choice somehow says that everybody should want to choose one type of school for all their kids, or that any one type of school is not making the grade or doing a good enough job writ large. It's about tens of millions of families making tens of millions of decisions for their children. And so we like to shine an equal and positive spotlight on all those options. We don't try to pit one type of school against another. And that's why we have thousands and thousands of traditional public schools joining with charter schools, magnet schools, private schools, online schools, and so many homeschooling groups to celebrate this week.
Yeah, I think that's really neat. I often run into people who I think are surprised to learn that though here at AFC, we talk a lot about private school choice options. My kids all attend a public charter school. My wife and I, we're trying to find the school that meets their needs this year. And if that changes from child to child, from year to year, all we're looking to do is do what's in their best interest. And I think that that's really the case for lots of families, but we do know that some of that access is limited, and I think the information to make those choices may not be there either. Yeah. So
That's right.
what do you think about, because now it's the season, I mean, here in Tennessee, in our biggest cities, Nashville, Memphis, the process for selecting a school for the 21-22 school year, which I can't believe it, we're talking about already, but that process is about to start opening now. So parents are actively looking for schools. You have some tips, like how do you help equip parents who are struggling maybe with that decision right now?
Well, great question. And a few things. The first thing I tell folks is do start the process right now. Do not wait until summer break. The sooner you start the process of looking for a school or learning environment for your child, the more options you will find you have. And that's for a few reasons. You don't want to run into a situation where you run out of time in your school search process and you have to settle. You also want to make sure that schools are getting as much information about parent demand so that if there is a school out there that has so much parent demand, they have enough time to hire more teachers or expand their classrooms, things like that, so they can accommodate kids. If we condense all of this searching into the summertime period, schools won't be able to do that. They won't have the capacity to staff up. So that's the first piece of advice I have is do start now. That's why National School Choice Week is in January. The second piece of advice I have is before you start looking at schools or even thinking about schools, I want you to think about your own child, your goals for your child, what your child's talents are, interests are, challenges are, and broader needs are. Because your knowledge and your intuition as a mom or dad are just so important. You are the expert. So don't let any of the education jargon get you down because you know more about this process than you might think you do. So look at your child first, then look at what you want and need from a school or learning environment. What are the environments where your child has succeeded before? In what types of settings has your child not acquired knowledge or been happy? Then make a list of schools, then go and tour those schools in person or virtually. Ask a ton of questions pertaining to your child. Then narrow your list down and make a choice.
Great advice, great pieces of advice. I love the idea or kind of your advice to ask lots of questions too. I would say that parents don't feel bad about asking hard questions, right? Because if you don't ask them now, you might find out an answer months down the road, and it might not be the answer that you wanted to hear.
That's exactly right. And what I tell parents also is when you ask questions, the first thing is write a list of questions beforehand that you want answered, because especially if you're going on a school tour, it's easy to be wowed by all the things a school wants to show you. And that's sort of the fun of those school tours. But you have to get those core questions answered. The other thing I ask parents to do is come up with questions that would elicit specific answers and examples. So if you have a child with special needs, let's say dyslexia, instead of asking the school, do you serve kids with dyslexia, which almost all types of schools are going to say yes.
Yes, of course.
Ask a question like, can you give me an example of a student in this school who had dyslexia and how an IEP or learning plan was developed and successfully served that kid? That way you will get an example and not just an affirmation of what you want to hear.
Yeah, for sure. And I think maybe another example of that might be parents asking for specific examples of even a parent communication. So for instance, how will you communicate with me if my child is struggling in this class or that class or behaviorally even, to get a sense for that?
Exactly. And, on our website, schoolchoiceweek.com, we have right on the homepage right now a whole section about how to go about this school search and choice process. And we have in there free worksheets that will help you write questions based on your priorities as a family. So if you go there and check these out, you can print out those worksheets and you can use them. Those will help you get the answers to your questions so that you're more confident as you pursue this search.
Yeah, that's great. And we can make sure we get that website in the chat there. We may even be able to put it on screen here. Yeah, but it's schoolchoiceweek.com that we want folks to go to and participate. I'll say that for our part here in Tennessee, we hope that anybody who's watching this, you're very likely watching it on Facebook or streaming somewhere. We've got a couple different competitions running, sort of contests running this week, where we would love to hear from families and from classrooms as well. If you're in a school where your class is in session, we'd love to get a picture. We'd love to get a video, you telling us why you love your teacher and why you love your school. And we'll be giving away some Chromebooks and some other fun things throughout the week. Now, Andrew, talk to us about some of the other things that are maybe going on around the country in conjunction with National Schools Choice Week.
Well, one of the things I really do want folks to check out are some of the resources that our team has worked with our state partners all across the country to build this year for families. And those include state-by-state school choice roadmaps, information explaining the differences between all the 6 different types of schools: public, charter, magnet, private, online, and home. Information specifically designed to help families navigate sort of the mitigating learning loss during this pandemic. We have a ton of resources that our research team has vetted for families. We also have a set of resources for educators that will help educators best instruct kids during the pandemic. And finally, resources on how to educate students with special learning needs during the virus as well. So all those resources we're really excited to promote. We have a brand new Schools Near Me school search tool on our website that we're launching. And we're working with folks like you guys in Tennessee and people all across the country on contests, photos, videos. We're lighting up 24 high-profile landmarks and buildings this week in yellow and red.
Very cool.
School Choice Week. We have a kickoff coming up at noon that I'm about to head over to soon at schoolchoiceweek.com/kickoff.
Awesome. Well, one of the things that I'm sure you've seen, but I'd love to get your impressions to see whether or not this surprised you, frankly, because 2020 was nothing if not surprising, and in many ways, tragic, and we truly lament the loss of life and how COVID has shut so many things down and disrupted so many things. But one of the things that we dug into here at AFC is we wanted to get a sense for, well, how are parents feeling about their school choices? And so we just released a poll end of last week, and I think it's linked on our Facebook page. It's certainly linked on our website, but this is pretty staggering. Here in Tennessee, we talk a lot about education savings accounts. We recently had a law that was passed that allowed for these in our state. 78% of parents nationally supported education savings accounts. 78%. 78% of people, hardly support eating breakfast, right? That was pretty amazing to me.
Yeah.
And it was only 14% opposition. It was 78% among Democrats, 82% among Republicans. Pretty amazing. Tax credit scholarship bills had high support. 79% supported a federal initiative. Here's a number. 92% of African Americans supported a federal tax credit scholarship. What it said to me was that parents, by and large, that even despite this year, that they are looking for more options, more choices. And I'll tell you, I didn't really know what to expect in 2020, so I'm not sure how it all strikes you. And we may have lost Andrew. Let's see. Well, we will see if Andrew is able to pop back in and join us. Again, though, going over some of these stats from our most recent National School Choice Survey, we found that a majority of K-12 parents in the United States supported school choice. And that number it had bipartisan support, had support among African-American families, Latino families, among white families. Parents are looking for options. And so we would love to know if you are finding great resources. If you're a parent that's finding great resources for doing a school search, let us know and put it in the comments, because we would love to hear that. We'd love to share those resources with other families. I do want to point out a few other things that are coming up this week, and hope that you'll come back and join us. We're doing a few more choice chats. We're really excited tomorrow to have Mayor Glenn Jacobs on our program. Mayor Jacobs is the mayor of Knox County, and you might better know him by his stage name as Kane. He was a WWE professional wrestler for many years. Really talented guy, but frankly, really smart guy. Very, very sharp, a public servant, really interested in education, career and technical education. So I hope you'll come back for that. We also want you to stay tuned later on today for a special message from Governor Bill Lee, the governor of Tennessee. Again, thank you for joining our choice chat. We want to give another big shout out to Andrew Campanella, the leader over at National School Choice Week. So glad for what they're doing, and also encourage you to check out his book. It's called The School Choice Roadmap, and it's really designed to help parents navigate the school choice process. Again, thanks for being with us, and we'll see you tomorrow. Take care.